Hello everyone, welcome back to VENMO channel. My name is rachelusa and this is Dr. Phạm Hiểu Liêm. Hello Dr. Liêm.
Thanks, Rachel. Hello, everyone.
Yes, and as many of you see on this screen right here, the title of today's video, we will talk about the misfortune of the Democratic Party in 2024. And why so? Please take over, Dr. Phạm Hiểu Liêm.
Thank you. We've done a similar program in Vietnamese, but this time we'll make it in English so we can share this with younger Vietnamese American generations. This issue is swing both ways. In lives and in politics, you have fortune and misfortune, and it can swing both ways. And sometimes people can use something like astrology to astronomy, whatever, to try to predict destiny or fortune or misfortune, or some kind of Chinese ancient yin-yang octagram, I Ching. A lot of old Vietnamese scholars spend a lot of time trying to interpret the I Ching, but it's all beyond human ability. Maybe some days the supercomputer with AI can interpret the I Ching and make it more accurate. But right now, we just don't know. But we all know that in life, sometimes good fortune come our way, everything's turn up rosy, and sometimes misfortune come our way, and we can't control it. So in politics, contemporary politics, one can remember in 2008, the Republicans at that time had all the misfortune went their way. Not only the country was not pleased with the action of Dick Cheney and his deep state people, fake intelligence report about weapon of mass destruction as an excuse to invade Iraq. Unnecessary war that didn't serve anything good for the United States or American people, but it only make money for the people in the military-industrial complex, and also for certain petroleum companies to control more oil wells in Iraq, that is. But American service people suffer casualties. Several thousand of innocent Iraqi civilians also were killed. That was a bad act from the American government at that time, controlled by W. Bush and Dick Cheney of the Republican Party. And Dick Cheney actually was the main person behind it. So for a long time, people in the Democrat Party and several people in the Republican Party, as well as the Libertarians, have looked at the Cheneys as criminals, and war criminals, that is, and also some other act. Then come 2008 presidential election, and W. Bush can't run anymore. He has served 2 terms. So GOP, through the primary election, elected John McCain as their candidate for president. And John McCain is not as, bright, or he was a prisoner of war from a famous military family, and that was about it. He doesn't distinguish himself much of anything else. But in the middle of these things, then the collapse of the investment firm Lehman Brothers, and it created a domino effect, and there was a devastating financial crisis affect the United States and the world. So the Republican really had no chance to win that presidential election with all that misfortunes, some of their own making. Now we call them the neocons, but some beyond their control, like the collapse of the Lehman Brothers. So that's just one example. And that year, of course, then Barack Obama of the Democrat offered a youthful outlook. There's a clear plan for the future with hope and change, and everybody voted for him. That how misfortune hit the United States Republicans, and it was fortunate that for the Democrat and Barack Obama, and he became president and served 2 times. he did actually, after 2 years, around 2009, 2010 of hardship, the Barack Obama's administration actually got the United States out of the financial crisis, and the economy got back into the solid footing again. And because of that, he got re-elected for a second term. And so the rest is history. This year, however, 2024, the misfortune seemed to go the Democrats' way. First of all, for the last 4 years, they've lied to American people about the physical and mental health of Joe Biden, the president. So they've been telling us that Joe Biden was bright, no dementia, he's cognitively sharp, he is physically fit, he's this and that. He's completely healthy. He's the greatest president of all time. But then come June and July this year, in a presidential debate, it was revealed to everybody that Joe Biden was frail. He was demented. So with the truth revealed, and all the polls indicate that will be a landslide for the Republican, and the Republican now is under Donald Trump as a candidate for president. Donald Trump has served one term with a lot of successful results, and now he's back, and he's seemed like if Joe Biden is a candidate for presidency again, that Donald Trump will win a landslide. And because of that, the Democrat then went the undemocratic way. They initiate a palace coup. They forced Biden out. And even though Biden still wanted to run, but he was forced out. And instead of picking someone that had won the primary before, like Hillary Clinton, who is whether or not you like her, she is a shrewd politician and very talented politician. But they didn't do that. They picked Kamala Harris, the vice president, who, when running in the primary of 2020, she didn't win any more than 1% of the vote in the primary and had to drop out before the end of the primary. Later, she was picked by Biden to be in the VP position because she's a woman of color, and that is her qualification. So she is not talented. She had not been elected by anyone, but now the people who have been controlling Joe Biden and the Democrat, the puppet master, chose Kamala because she will be the new puppet. And everybody knows that, and the Clinton knows that too. Both Bill and Hillary Clintons are not happy about it. So it's a misfortune to choose Kamala Harris to run. And then, of course, they use the media machines and all the propaganda to make Kamala Harris like a star, which she is not. And then she had to pick the vice president running mate. And she had two finalists, the governor, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Josh Shapiro is a more talented, a better politician, and Pennsylvania is a state that Kamala Harris must win if she has any chance to be elected president, because Josh Shapiro is a Jewish American, and Democrats don't like Jewish American this year. Therefore, he was, not chosen, and Tim Walz was picked as a running mate. It turned out that Tim Walz is a fraud. He has lied about his backgrounds repeatedly, and then not only that, he is a xenophile. He has gone to China 30 times, and he's really admired Chinese Communist Party. He especially admired Mao Zedong. So he's a Chinese Communist Party, a friend of Chinese Communist Party, and he probably is compromised as anybody know that if you go to China 30 times, you would be compromised. That's another misfortune. So she picked the wrong person as running mate. And then, things didn't go their way very well. Tim Walz turned out to be a drag, a liability on the ticket. And then while the Republican ticket offered tangible, clear solution for country's current problems, especially how to reduce inflation, how to build up the economy, protect the American workers and middle class, and how to control the border, how to lower the crime rate, how to deport the illegal criminal aliens. They have all that, concrete plans, all that good plans that voters really want and need. Meanwhile, the Democrats offer something like abortion, which is not a federal issue any longer, it's a state issue. They also offer transgenderism, which is opposed by a lot of people, especially female athletes, because they've been unfairly had to compete with the transgender athletes. And there's several other issues, including locker room privacy and so on and so forth. But the Democrats really didn't have any tangible, any issue to offer to voters other than genderism, especially transgenderism, and the issue of abortion, which is no longer a federal issue. So in the middle of that, and the issue of abortion make Democrats hostile to Catholics just because the Catholic Church and the Pope against abortion. There was a charitable party dinner to raise funds for Catholic charities. It's a tradition in New York City, which all the big-time politicians would attend, whether they are Democrats or Republicans. And Donald Trump attend and got a good time, and Kamala Harris refused to attend. And while the Catholics in New York City was being offended, Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, who is a Democrat, make a video mocking Catholic Eucharist ritual. Associate the Eucharist with a Fritos chips. And so that's very offensive, very sacrilege. And so when you in misfortune, like the Democrats are doing right now, things that they can control, they miss it, and then things they can't control happen. And so in the last few days, we see that that the poll is going well for Republicans, and both in the presidential tickets as well as in the congressional races. The last 4 years, the Democrats have made this country poorer, less secured, and we are in the threat of a World War III, all created by directly or indirectly by the policy of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So the violations of the constitutional right of Americans were so bad, especially the control of free speech, and also the using the legal system to persecute political opponents, that some people like Elon Musk now support Republican tickets. So people like Robert Kennedy Jr. now support the Republican tickets. People that former vice chair of Democrat Party like Tulsi Gabbard now support the Republican tickets. Meanwhile, the Democrats open arms to welcome the old Dick Cheney's and his families, with all the serious Democrats still think they are war criminals. So when, misfortune comes, things like that happen, I don't think the Democrat can win the election this year. Even if we think that way, it's our duty as Americans to go to vote. So everyone should go to vote. and you have to think very hard about your responsibility. And my responsibility right now is to restore freedom, liberty, and Bill of Rights to all Americans. We are protected by the Constitution, and the government should not violate our Bill of Rights. Also, I like to bring back border security, lower the crime rate, lower the inflation, build up the economy so that American dreams once again become reality. I have lived my American dream, and I like to make sure that I protect it and return it to the younger generations, my children and grandchildren. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Lim. And as many of you hear how he share all the misfortune of the Democrats Party in 2024. In Vietnamese, there's a saying that in life, when you want to be successful or in most of the thing you do, there's need three components. One is thiên thời, địa lợi, nhân hòa. Thiên thời mean luck or fortune, right? And then địa lợi mean location, and nhân hòa is human or people. So another aspect I want to ask you too is on the people side, because from your sharing, you share about the Kamala picked the wrong person, but on the other hand, we see in Trump he picked J.D. Vance, is a wonderful young man, right? So could you please share that aspect as well?
J.D. Vance is a real talent. He came from a very redneck background. His mother was addicted to drug and had behavior problem, and so he was raised by his grandchildren, and he had to fight to get out of that situation, and he enlisted in the Marines, served the country, and went to college with the GI Bill, and then excelled academically and got into Yale Law School, the top law school in the world, and graduated there. While there, he fell in love with his female classmate who happened to be from an immigrant family from India. They got married and have a beautiful family. He became successful in his law and business career. He wrote a best-selling book, a memoir of his childhood and how he grew up, called Hillbilly's Elegy, and made into a good movie. And then he went into politics and got elected the senator from Ohio. He is unusual because he believed in nationalism. The United States from 1914 have been transformed by President Woodrow Wilson into a country of international liberalism, or liberal internationalism. That's why that ideology came into conflict with international communism, and throughout the 20th century, it caused all kind of hot war as well as Cold War, until President Reagan, at the end of 20th century, finally won the war for the United States, and the Soviet Union collapsed. But, that was the 20th century. Now we're in the 21st century with a new set of problems, the new realities, and the internationalism of the 20th century was no longer appropriate for the United States. So J.D. Vance is such a bright young man, and he's the only national politician right now and not tended by the old internationalism, and he believed in nationalism. And we Vietnamese Americans, especially the first generation who was refugees here from because our country, South Vietnam, was taken over by the communists, and we are nationalists. So our civic nationalism is very much like the civic nationalism of J.D. Vance. So should feel very comfortable with him. And so far, he has been very talented and very bright. And I think that if Donald Trump became president again and J.D. Vance is the vice president, then nationalism would be the new direction for the United States and the world in the 21st century. And hopefully that will lead to lasting peace and prosperity.
All right, thank you. See, the reason that I brought up about the running mate of the president is when you think about putting your vote, first of all, the policies, second of all, the candidate, but then also the running mate is extremely important as well. Because if anything happened to the president, the vice president is the next one to become a president, right? And think about on the Kamala and Walz, what happened if something happened to her and Walz take over, and think about it. And he is pro China, pro-communist, and do you want this country run as the communist policy? And definitely, I believe that you don't want that as well. So vote wisely.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
And then also right now is many states, they start to open up for vote early too. So make sure that you check with your state to see what day is a voting day for the early voting. Make sure you go vote. Don't wait until last minute. That is one thing that it happened to me before. Not on the president voting, but like within local. And then I wait until the last minute. But the day of the vote, the night before, my mom in Savannah, she got a car accident. She had to be in the ICU. Then I have to left to go to Savannah. Then I missed the vote. So things could happen in last minute that you don't know. So make sure you go vote early.
That's right.
Yeah. That's anything else you like to say before?
The old Democrat Chicago joke was of the daily machine was vote early and often. But we wouldn't. Vote often would be illegal, but vote early is the right way to do it. If they allow you to vote early, you should go and vote early.
Exactly. And then also, I see many people in other countries that they don't have a freedom of vote like here, or the right to vote like here, and they fight, and many of them go to jail just because they want to fight for democracy. And us here, we have that advantage to use our vote for the party that we want. So, don't waste it. And we need your vote. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now, our old country, Vietnam, people don't have the right to vote. And if the Communist Party allow them to vote at all, the candidates are approved by the party, Communist Party. So, and that kind of similar to how Kamala Harris became the candidate for the Democrats this year. It's approved by the party, not by the people. So that's another reason why we shouldn't vote for her.
Definitely. Well, I guess that you hear enough, and I hope you understand that we want you to vote for the person name on this hat right here, Trump 2024, right? So make sure you use your vote. And thank you, Dr. Lim, so much. And thank you, everyone, for watching this video. Please help us share this video. Thank you. And we wish you all have a great day. And we see you on next video.
We'll see y'all. Thank you.